So Vitilan recently sent me their folding bike, which is the i7 Pro version 3. And rather than doing like a kind of normal review, I thought I'd go through the process of what I actually don't normally film, and show you building the bike and then tweaking it and riding it and first impressions and things that maybe go wrong and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously I will actually ride it, and just give you my thoughts about the bike and everything else at the end of it. So here we go. So I brought you around this side just to see the disc and the caliper fitting. Fitted it as centrally as it can possibly be, but the disc is touching the outer pad, and obviously over time that's just going to glaze off and everything else. Everything else is all tightened up, so it's all fastened in there. So best thing to do is just adjust the caliper then. So get the right Allen key, one of these big fat ones, which is a 5mm, and then ever so slightly nudge it in a little bit. These are hydraulic brakes, so they're good brakes. So there we go. So all I'm doing, they're on sliders, like these slidey things in and out. So if you watch, you're seeing slide them out. So just going to spin the wheel, and there we go. Find the bit where it's not catching, and then tighten it up. And then no more scratching. And the brakes still work fine. So this one has actually got a front air shock. So you've got a little valve, Schrader valve. Oop. Don't want to miss that. There. And I've got a proper shock pump as well. So get some pressure in this so we can set it correctly. So the first thing to do is obviously check on the pressure gauge what they send it with. Most of the time they send these out with nothing in there. Well, that's not too bad already. So it's already got 120 psi, but it's good that it's adjustable. So you can actually put it to whatever setting you feel comfortable with, rather than just having those preload settings or whatever. That you do get an option for an air shock on the front, not an air shock on the back, unfortunately. Would have been nice if they were air shock front and back, so you could have the same rider preference. So although I do enjoy building the bikes, because you know, get to tinker and stuff like that, now that it's all ready to go, I get to go out and do like the favourite part now, which is go and ride them. And I like this spec. I don't normally say yes to every bike I'm sent, by the way, just to clarify this. I only do it to bikes that particularly attract my attention, specifically ones that I would own myself. So this, the spec of this on paper, was something that caught my eye. So let's crack on, let's go for a ride. What's rattling? That's a bit loose. Get my pliers up, and I'll get my pliers out and tighten that up. So it was that and the front light. So just a few things that I carry around with me. A Leatherman, so you know, pliers, knife, little bits of screwdriver, stuff like that. So that's like the first part of the kit. Second part is this little bike kit. That's got puncture repair, a Schrader valve remover kind of stuff in there, little tyre levers as well for taking a tyre off to repair a puncture, and then you got this little sort of like toolkit as well that's got sockets in there, screwdrivers and Allen keys. So yeah, vital part for maintaining a bike or fixing things on the road. And then there's the pump as well, so a little battery operated pump as well. So if I do have to repair a puncture, then at least I've got an easy way to pump it back up. Try the hole out. Ooh. Rattles, though. let's just see what assistance level does what. So level 1 gets you to about 3 miles an hour. 2, 9. 3, 11. I can just hear the motor kicking in and kicking out when I get to speed. 12 is level 4. See that? Off it goes again. So level 5. It should be about 15 point something. But it's slowly getting there. Let me put a bit more effort in. There we go, 15.1. It's kicked off. So that's pretty good, and I like the way that it's very gentle as well. It feels really stable. Like I say, it's rolling, and no throttle. Not that the throttle would work in at 15.2 miles an hour, but it's a very gentle hill I'm going down. And as you can probably hear from the freewheel, I am just freewheeling down this hill. Now you've got indicators right and left. They show up on the back light. You've got horn. 8 speeds. And these are controlled down and up. Maybe need a bit of adjustment. There's no change between 8 and 7 there. So grip's really good as well. Nice little palm rest on the end. Like I said, brakes are brilliant. Really strong brakes. So let's put it into top gear. And then back it off one into 7th gear. And then let's go and adjust it. And all I'm doing is moving that in and out, and that's going to move the derailleur in or out that way. And obviously it needs to go in because it needs to go to the next gear up, because it's still stuck in 8th gear and it should be in 7th gear. So there we go. So by backing it off, it's moved it in that way. So if I now move the pedals, it should select the right gear. Now it's still stuck in 8th gear. So let's just do another couple of half turns. Try again. There we go. That's in 7th gear now. Let's just make sure it selects first gear. Right, so that's first gear now. It's just about not selecting first gear. So this is the tweaky bit now, is pushing it out a little bit more so it goes into first. And after that, just maybe a tiny bit more. So that it doesn't change. There you go. Let's go second. Yeah. Third. Yeah. Fourth. Yeah. Fifth. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So I'm not just picking on this bike by showing you all these little tweaks I'm making. 50% of them I have to make these tweaks to. 50% I'll find rattles and things that personally I'd have done differently so things don't rattle. And 50% of them I have to either adjust the brakes, the gears, or both as well. And also showing you there on the back there, just a few tweaks of the cable adjuster for the gears. Helps you select the gears much better. So the gears drop into gear every time you select the number on the little dial as well. So yeah, but I'm not having a go at the bike. The bike's really good. I like it. Brakes are fantastic. It's very smooth, you know, acceleration wise, and very smooth to ride as well. So just little tweaks that I thought I'd mention, because normally I possibly don't mention them, but on this one I thought, you know what, let's go all in with a bit of maintenance on a bike, even though it's new, so that you know from this point on that it's going to be spot on and won't give you any problems, because like I say, it's a decent bike, so you might as well look after it.
Heart rate 146.
I have overdressed. Got really chilly and wet yesterday afternoon. I'm thinking tomorrow, as in today, is an even worse day for the weather. So no chance I'm going to wear shorts. Dear, yeah, how wrong I was. But anyway, how is the bike going? That's what you're all here for. The bike is going beautifully. It's a very smooth ride. Like I say, you've got a lovely smooth motor to it. Exceptional brakes. I've probably said that about 7 or 8 times now. I'm rather liking it. Like I say, I choose bikes that on paper are something that I'd buy. And I looked at this and went, yes, adventures, beast. So yeah, that's why. And yeah, a few little niggles, but like I say, get them resolved. It doesn't stop the day, doesn't stop the fun, and we can crack on. So 5 miles later, I can report, because I am a bit of a fastidious fuddy-duddy over the seats that are put on bikes, and this is lovely. 5 miles out, no issues whatsoever, no little numb bony bit bums or anything like that. But the tyre pressure is to about 25 psi and about 135 psi in the front shock, and obviously the rear shock is just fixed. It is what it is. Plenty of ground clearance, you know, sort of like banking and everything like that. I've not ground the pedals out, so there's plenty of ground clearance. Yeah, cool bike. So it's time that we cracked on, did some more miles really, isn't it? So let's go through the spec. So this is the Vitilan i7 Pro version 3. It's a 48 volt system, and the battery, which is in the middle of the frame there, is a 20 amp hour battery. The rear motor is 750 watts, and between the battery, the motor, and you pedaling and choosing how much power you want, they reckon you'll get between 65 and 104 kilometer range, and it'll do a max speed of 43 kilometers an hour. I'm assuming that's when it's unlocked, because right now the motor kicks out around about 15 miles an hour, but that could be because it's you know, UK EU sort of restrictions. It'll take 5 to 6 hours to charge the battery, and like I say, you've got 8-speed Shimano system on there. 180 millimeters hydraulic disc brakes, 20x4 the rear and front wheels, the fat tire wheels, which is absolutely lovely. So there you go. So that is the tech specs done. We've done a nice ride out. Obviously made some adjustments, so it's going to be spot on for maintenance from this point on. We've put a bit more air in the front shocks, so you can see they're not bottoming out now, whereas they were bottoming out before. And yeah, aligned the rear gears, made some adjustments to the headstock so it doesn't squeak anymore, and tightened up the front light, and generally just some general checks everywhere. Like I say, 50% of bikes are fine, and then the other 50%, like this one, just need a few little tweaks to get them absolutely brilliant, which this now does run absolutely brilliant. Interesting enough, that says I've done 8.8 miles. The Odo says 9 miles. Been out for 45 minutes. Let's see, with a 19.1 average. So let's see what my watch says. So my watch says 42 minutes we've been out for. And yeah, we've done 8 miles, 8.08 miles. So, looks like this is overreading a little bit. 43 minutes, 42.54, so that's about right. So yeah, so it's one of the bikes I've tested recently. It's probably the most accurate. I do love the Garmin for its information, and everything it says is very accurate normally. So yeah, I trust that. So yeah, there we go. That has obviously for about, I say just under 9 miles, but a lot of messing around in the different modes and stopping and starting, you know, going back and forth the camera shots and all that kind of stuff. And we have not really touched the battery. So thanks very much for watching my review. If you're interested in this bike, there will be a link in the video description. And if you've got any questions, ask in the comments section down below. And until the next time, take care. See you again. Bye.